Here we are, the NFL's 104th regular season kickoff show, NFL Nation Live Season 5, Ref Guru, Violator, Captain Jack. We got a lot to cover. One of the breaking pieces out of headquarters tonight, though, y'all, is that we're moving. NFL Nation Live, which you've known to come and love on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, is moving to Thursdays starting next week. Our week 2 show and our shows going forward will be on Thursdays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. So check that. We're moving next week, starting next week, to Thursdays at 3/6. We want to be your pregame show for the Thursday night kickoffs. Our intro says it's game day, and technically tomorrow it is. But starting next week, effectively, our intro will be dead on. It will be game day. We'll be with you in the hour or so before kickoff, get you ready not only for the Thursday games, but for all the games like we do every week. So we're looking forward to seeing you all next week, starting on Thursdays at 3/6. That said, let's do a quick roundtable on what everybody's been doing since we signed off after the Super Bowl. I know we had a draft show, schedule release show, but we're back now and ready to go. So, Cap, how you doing? Welcome to the show, and what's going on over there in West Flo?
Well, for all those, and I'd like to welcome to the crowd here, Biggie Bronco, who's joining us.
Welcome, absolutely.
Yeah, he's a penis, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. He's like Casey Hefe, okay?
Oh, gotcha.
He's just like Casey Hefe.
We understand.
That's all I need to say.
Yeah, right on.
But he's coming over. But we do appreciate the look from Biggie Bronco, and then MHRT Network is here as well. So
Right
welcome
on.
to all
Thank
of our
you.
friends as well.
Yep, absolutely.
But great to see everybody. Other than avoiding hurricanes, and I did that last week, and it's one of the things that you do when you're in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you know you're going to get one, but you don't know how much of one you're going to get.
Right. Yeah, you've been avoiding those like what's his name used to avoid touchdown passes, right? But that's good. Welcome back. Welcome to the show, everybody. We will have a trivia question later in the show, and I'll get to you, V, in just a second. But we have some new stuff, and we are going to put up a store. By the way, I'm still working on the vendor for that, so appreciate your patience. But in the meantime, if you're known to come and love us for stuff that we like to give away on the show, we have a new NFL Nation Live coffee mug. And we also have the ones with, there you go. We also have the ones with Violator and Captain Jack on them, the coffee mugs.
Yes,
And
sir.
you'll notice too that those go very well with the tall mug. So we'll have a trivia question in a little bit and give somebody a chance to win something. And if you followed us on Twitter at NFL Nation Live, which is our handle there, there might be a clue as to what tonight's trivia question is going to be. So if you're not following us on Twitter, you should, because if you want to win cool stuff, that might be a way to cheat and get in. V, how you doing? What's been going on with you since we last chatted?
Well, you forgot to remind the audience that Raider rule number 1 is cheating is encouraged. So
Exactly.
But other than that, man, just living the dream, man. Just still that entrepreneur, pushing all my stuff, and that's going well. I did a commercial recently with Board Casinos,
Yeah.
Board Gaming. So
How was that, by the way?
great experience, man. There's a shift changing in Las Vegas as it is to Raider Nation, and I just want to be the first to inform them that they really want our business and our presence in their facility. So, everybody said that it wouldn't work, but like I say, we got to do a little bit more ironing, but it's working out, and it's working out great. So stay tuned for some more news that I'll have to share in some other future shows.
Yeah, and welcome, Cav G Patriot. Welcome, Anna. Welcome. Yeah, I copy you all that on the Twitter part.
Oh, but by the way, Biggie Bronco was not here. It was the MHRT feed, so I can say it again. He's a dick.
V, where did copy that? Where did you shoot that commercial, by the way?
That was in the Aliante Casino in North Las Vegas where we shot that.
Interesting.
And they didn't shut it down. It was full gore, and it was a sight for the people that were there.
Right on. Um, all right. Well, let's get to the real meat of the show here. I know we're going to talk about week one kickoffs tomorrow. The Lions are going to go into KC. We'll get to that. But as you guys mentioned in the pregame, there's a lot of Raider news, a lot of Raider stuff going on out there. We can talk a little bit about that now because we are going to get to their game like we always do. But Cap, what's been on your mind lately with regards to Raiders? What's going on there? And give us the 30,000 foot view of where we are right now with that team.
Well, I mean, if you look at the team by what they did the first two preseason games, and
Yep.
then you counter or was it contra indicate that with the debacle that was the third game in Dallas, where I think there was maybe two or three people on the field that are actually on the team now. So there you go. But again, I like what I saw out of the players that played the first two games. I like the fact that Garoppolo's one and only drive this year, he looked effective handing the ball off. I think it was like 6 of 8 as far as passing. And he did that pretty well. Trey should have had one of his passes. Trey will be really, really good once he learns how to keep those hands on the balls that he has.
Yeah.
But I like what I see out of the team this year upcoming. It's not gonna be a total, oh my God, hey, the Super Bowl's in Vegas this year, so it's gonna be a whole game or home game. Just wait, okay?
Yeah.
See what we got. And
Okay.
again, this is a 3-year program. Like I've used the cake analogy for you guys are probably sick of it. Okay, if you got to bake a cake for, I won't do hours anymore. I'll do like 30 minutes. Okay, and this team has only had the cake cooking for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
1
Yeah.
year.
GA Patriot went undefeated in preseason and then had an accident. I'm glad we lost one this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Raiders 07, restructured Jimmy G's contract yesterday. I saw that. That is that for what? Just to get more cap rooms? We can sign somebody else? What's going on there?
Right. And actually, T3 on the Wild Wild West show brought up something that was needed. There was some people that were saying that we were like 7 over, and I don't know exactly. If you look at Spot Track and other things, they said that we were over the cap by about 7 million. I don't know what the actual figure is. Doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Garoppolo restructures. Now we have about $10 million in cap space.
Okay.
And what T3 was saying is that gives us an opportunity to grab a defender that is top notch, that might be available via a trade. And he was talking specifically about Patrick Queen, throwing him in at the linebacker position. That would be somebody to keep an eye on, because it was bantied about earlier. They were talking about both bringing in Peters and Queen. And I was like, dude, you're smoking something. We don't got enough money. Well, now we actually do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Kev's got a good point too. Dead cap was killing the quality of players the Raiders can acquire, and that makes absolutely sense from the math standpoint, right?
And that'll be gone. We have a big fat egg of dead cap money. I think it's 27 or $30 million this year. Guess what? That's gone next year.
Yeah, no, right. And Raiders 07, he's saying Bosa. I assume he's talking about from San Francisco, but
Yeah, he's already signed though.
Yeah, I think he's already signed. Although I
he
wouldn't
signed
mind
today.
the other one, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, Chris
Still can't afford Bosa. Yeah, probably not. But so V, what's your take on the Raiders? And I don't know if you have any comment about the latest riffraff that was coming around with
Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler. But give us your, whether you want to talk about that or not, it's up to you. But,
Yeah, just briefly to piggyback off what Cap had already stated. there was a difference in chemistry this preseason. Now, and the house has been flipped to completely upside down now, just like we were saying last season. That whole salvaging has been done. Yeah, that team is unrecognizable. I was at the 49ers preseason game, and I needed what do you call a program to figure out who was who. And it was kind of interesting in a way because it really made you pay attention. But I like the intensity on the defensive side. They seem to be pursuing and not thinking so much. And they've got a couple of youngsters there that were laying some leather. So I'm curious to watch them. But we're still like one blue chipper away from really having stacked in all three levels of that defense. The offense, I'm not even worried about, man. We got way too many tools, and can Garoppolo use them all?
Yeah, and that's a good point about the needing a program to see all the new faces. You and Cap in particular. I guess I can count myself in some of that, but we've all been around a long time. And when you made that comment, I was trying to think, when was the last time that we felt that actually happened? I think you got to go back a ways.
Early
Um,
80s, early
yeah, I
80s.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. When you kind of like, man, yeah, I don't know who some of these people are, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and they're all wearing numbers that we used to associate
Single
with somebody
numbers,
else.
right? And single
Yeah,
numbers and all out of position. But it's
yeah,
it's kind of like that college fanfare. So I
yeah,
kind of I kind of can dig that as an old dog. I kind
yeah,
of dig that.
yeah, yeah. All right, well that sounds good. So we'll get to more Raider stuff when we turn the corner here. But let's get to the regular season, which kicks off tomorrow. The Lions going to go into Kansas City and face the Super Bowl chumps. Kansas City, perhaps without a couple players,
Did you
defensive
say,
line.
was that a Freudian slip? Did you say chumps?
I did.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that I heard that correctly, and I was going with you, and I'm like, yeah, but I caught it. I caught it.
Yeah, no,
He's on a road, Cap. He's on
yeah,
a
no,
Yeah,
road.
that's right. I just wanted to make sure because I got my hair did earlier, and I want to make sure that my wonderfully, because my stylist is awesome.
It is. It's coiffed real nice there.
It
man.
is. It
it
is.
is. Yeah, I like it. No, I know you heard it right. I'm glad
Yeah,
somebody
and
picked up on that.
I did. I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
not taking my bye until week 13, so we're all good, right?
okay.
That's it.
But yeah, so they're going to go in and take on the whatever their mascot is, the rat. What's the
Wolf,
name?
yeah,
The
wolf.
wolf,
Yeah.
whatever the heck it is. So
But you're talking about the Trois.
I know.
You're
Yeah,
talking
the
about
Yeah.
lions.
They're
Yeah,
twine
so
the wolves. Yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah, huffing, puffing. So Chiefs' defensive plan is score 50 points. Yeah, well, good luck with that. But yeah, I hear that. But so, and I think somebody just bailed me out. Was it Chris Jones we're talking about with the defensive
Yes.
line?
Yeah.
Not he's not. I don't think he's out. Performance wise, I think he's out because he hasn't signed, right?
Yeah.
And then
They're about
Kelsey, I
12
didn't see.
million. They're about
Yeah,
12 millions apart right now, from what I just read.
well, I could go in there for a lot less than that and probably not play
Thank
as well.
you.
But anyhow,
That's okay. They got rid of that Farrell player
yeah,
that the Raiders didn't want, and the people that were pissed off about that, they were going to cut his ass anyway. So
Yeah.
at least they got a draft pick for him.
that's right.
Imbeciles.
Yeah. Raise in with the two beers. Love that. Cool Cav Lions by 3. We'll get to that. But, I didn't see the injury report, but there was some issue with Kelsey, right? Tuesday, he hypered his knee a little bit. He may or may not play.
Hyperextended his vagina.
Right.
So he can't play.
Well, that's probably true. But here's the thing. I would much rather, this is a liquored up Lions team, right? The issue is we may not get lucky enough to get the win because although Detroit probably has a chance to go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs, I would like this if this were maybe like week 3 or week 4 after the Lions have actually snapped the ball a couple times. Again, this is a Lions team, not as much as the Chiefs, but they scored a lot of points last year. So this is a game they can win. This is a game now, guys, the Chiefs don't have to win. I know what's going to happen. If the Chiefs drop one against the Lions are going to, Lions stock is going to go through the roof, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's only week 1. And I'll say this time, and this is the only time that we can say this. after week 1, there's still a lot of football to be played. But this is,
Big
I
moving
think,
French girls for
Yeah,
everybody.
that's
when
right.
the
But
Detroit wins.
Right, but keep in mind that this is an interconference game, AFC NFC game. Win or lose on this thing really isn't a huge factor either way, right? It's not in the conference, it's not in the
Right.
division. It's actually harder it actually hurts the Chiefs more with the loss because it's at home than it hurts Detroit on the road. So although we want the Lions win over Kansas City, because every loss for them matters, especially to us.
Yes.
What the Lions really got to go in there, play a decent game, win or lose, get out of there healthy, right?
Absolutely. And I think Coach Campbell, like somebody said in the comment, is bringing the soup.
Yeah,
It's going to be all the fanfare
yeah,
of opening day in KC, blah, blah, blah. We know how it goes. But
yeah,
these guys, I think they'll bring their lunch buckets from Detroit.
yeah.
And
Detroit,
yeah,
French girls,
that's it.
cabaret.
And I think they'll be swinging some big sticks. And if Garrett Goff can man that offense, I think the defense will take care of itself.
Well, I hope
got
so,
a
and it'd be
big
nice to
one
get the
for
win. But
you.
the Lions go home next week to play Seattle, so they really don't get a break,
No.
going forward. So we got to hope that they get the win and can manage that. But so we have a couple hot takes. 16 teams will lose this weekend.
Wow.
Well, you know what? You know what? That's absolutely true, except unless there's a tie.
Right. Unless there's a tie. That's the issue.
I will bet. I would put money on no ties.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a tie. I hate ties, but yeah.
No tie for me either.
Yeah. So
I'm French. I don't wear a tie. I have too much musk right here. See, I'll open up my shirt. I will show you my manly French hair. My wife.
Is everybody over 21?
I was going to say, can we save that for NFL Nation Live after dark?
There you go.
Actually, I mean literally like when the lights are out. No, I'm just kidding.
You can't see it, but it's there.
Just like Tampa Bay's offense. Yeah.
There you go.
You can see it, but it's not there.
Yeah,
all right. So we have a
2 for 2, man. That's good. Yeah.
Hey, I've been working during the off season. I'm in shape. I'm ready to go blow some whistles. John Hussey has that game. Don't really care, but he's going to have a primetime game. We have a couple people that are in on Detroit. What do you guys think? You like the Lions on the road, or you like the Chiefs at home?
I'm pulling for the Lions, but I say that KC squeaks out one at home.
I think if they do, I think you're right.
Squeak out just because.
I think the football pick actually is probably Detroit, but I like the Chiefs only because I don't think Kansas City wins it, especially if Kelsey's out.
Right.
I think Detroit, if they don't win, it's because they beat themselves. Turnovers.
That's why I said squeak one out. I think they'll squeak one out.
Yeah. And guys, what about? We might as well talk about it now. What about? There's a couple new rules this year, but what about that one where if on the kickoff, if a guy fair catches it inside the 25-yard line, it's essentially a touchback. I think that is the second dumbest rule ever in the history of football.
Yeah.
Because if it goes in the end zone, we all know that's a touchback. But if they don't want him to run the ball back, that's fine. But I think at pro ball, if you want to do that high school, college, fine. I think at the pro level, if you're going to raise your hand and fair catch it, you get it wherever you catch it. Why is it different than a punt at that point? You don't just, if you catch the ball, if you fair catch the ball at the 1-yard line, you get the ball at the 25. Why not just spot everybody 3 points and kick off from there?
Absolutely.
Like I said, I think that's the second dumbest rule.
Too many pussies in this league now.
Yeah.
They're making it like flag football and not the good flag football. They're pussifying it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Finally, somebody said it. Raising their Chandler ain't worth his contract. I agree with you on that front.
We'll get
permission,
on that one. But,
permission to come aboard. That's up to Jack. You're all welcome here.
Michael. I'm Jean-Pierre.
Yeah.
And I'm talking for Jacques. Jean-Pierre Jacques or Jean-Jacques. Whatever the hell my name is this week. Yeah, just
Well,
come on board. There you
yeah.
go.
Well, don't worry. We're going to get to Coach Bill because you guys are going to get your ass kicked
Oh,
by the Eagles this week. But let's see. Jack was the reason I asked. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jack. Let's see. Cool, Kev. It ruins the special teams experience. Yeah, no kidding.
yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah,
going to
I'm
say
waiting
that.
for somebody to come in with 4 beers on that one. Anna, someone was smoking some bad stuff when they made that rule. And I know exactly who was smoking that
Thank
too.
you, Anna. Oh, yeah.
But you're right. That's some seriously high quality Colorado weed there.
But
Um,
the way these youngsters are into their stats,
yeah, yeah,
think about a special teamer. His stats suck because he's not allowed to do anything, and that's why you've seen more people just run it regardless, rather than sit there and wait. And I've noticed the kickoff teams kind of hesitant
that's
as far
exactly
as
right because they don't
yeah,
want to hit somebody.
right.
Yeah.
So I hate it.
Raiders '07, Coach B last season in New England.
Ooh,
I wouldn't be surprised because I think that what's his name, Mac Jones, is going to be the death of
what's
him.
up, Ray? I hear you.
Is the hoodie ready for a comment already?
Is he awake though?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I was woken
Hey,
up
Ray.
when I heard my name, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. All right. Cap, did you make a pick on Kansas City, Detroit?
Not yet.
Okay.
So see, now I'm back. Okay, Cap's here, so I can actually, you know,
Good to know.
unfortunately, because my buddy Jean Paul Jacques, of course he's going to pick Detroit, but it's just like we said,
Napoleon.
we all won. And Napoleon Brandy as well. Where's my friggin' beret when I need it? Anyway, it's one of those things where we want Detroit to win, and Georgia has it. If they win, it's just because. And we were talking about this in Wild Wild West. There's so many different things where Chris Jones is out, and then Kelsey's out. And Tony hasn't played in the preseason.
Yeah.
And, they got a lot of hate and discontent and turmoil, and everybody is.
Well, and Bieniemy's gone, right? We don't really know what their offense is going to do when the chips are down.
But I think that even so, and remember, Detroit, was the best team in the latter part of last year. I think they were 8-2 down the stretch. Okay.
Yeah.
They were the best team in the NFL at the latter part of the year last year. But I just gotta. It's one of those things like that. Kansas City loses games that you wouldn't want. You would. It's like they lost to the Cardinals or something ridiculous like that. But games, even with all of this hate and discontent, remember they'll just score one more point than Detroit, and then Jean-Paul Jacques will be in here. He'll be pissed off. Imbecile. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, let's hope that Detroit could carry that over from last year. Like I said, I just wish that game was either in Detroit in week 1 or they were getting the Chiefs.
You imbecile. Where's my freaking buddy?
Well, you weren't wearing it, so I didn't say that.
Hey, but
So now that he puts that on, they're the Lions. Now that you put that on there, the Lions.
Leon.
Yeah.
It's Detroit, Leon.
Right. Leon.
Imbecile. I felt in your general direction.
I'm just going to nickname them the Eiffel Towers. And it was just, the Eiffel Towers. All right. Carolina going to go into Atlanta and take on the Falcons in a division game. This whole division is probably the NFC South, probably up for grabs to a point. I think the Saints are probably on paper the better team so far, just from a continuity standpoint. But we really don't know yet what we're going to get out of Carolina or Atlanta. It doesn't really matter at this point in week 1, although this is a division game. It might matter later. I like the Falcons at home.
I got the Dirty Birds at home, ref. Bryce Young is going to get his first real test of welcome to the NFL.
Yeah, he is.
I want to see how he responds to that.
Yeah. I just don't know what we're going to get out of that game. But I'm going to take the home team, and it's a division game. So
yes, it is. Yeah.
Maybe it matters. I don't think at the end it probably does, because I think it comes down to the Saints and maybe the Falcons. So we'll see. Make sure I'm not missing any comments. They say there's a heat wave going on in the east and southeast. It will be a big factor in game. That very well could be true.
Yeah, but it's
But
But it's indoors.
This,
It's
this
Yeah,
indoors in Atlanta.
it's
So,
right,
indoors.
and Tampa Bay is in Minnesota.
Yeah,
The Saints are at home, but that one's also indoors.
right.
I think the games in actually Jacksonville's in Indianapolis. So I'm trying to. That's a good point. So I'm glad that Anna brings it up because, especially, well, I think at all times of the year in the East right now, but as we get later in the season, you all know we talk about the weather even more,
Yeah.
especially when you start getting into the winter months. So I'm glad you brought that up because weather is a factor.
Yeah, in Miami.
In the
out in,
southeast, I'm not sure
desert.
this week though. It hits home because I think most everybody's gone or indoors, right? I
Right,
can't think of
right.
anybody quote south that's playing south except for Atlanta, New Orleans, which are indoors. Jackson, like I said, Jacksonville's out of town.
And
Miami's out of town.
My cat
Yep.
just wandered in here, but okay.
Uh,
Hopefully she'll
yeah, well,
she's
okay.
gonna
well,
show up on
Baltimore
camera here in a minute.
for Houston, but that they're far enough. Well, Baltimore's not. It's going to be somewhat. It's
That's
it's
it,
not gonna
baby.
be
Only
pleasant.
on NFL Nation Live.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The only guy getting pussy on this show is Rev.
Uh,
So,
You said it, guy. Touchdown. You said
Extra
it.
point, good.
Extra point. That's
Oh,
that's
man.
2 or 3 points right there.
that was so easy. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
layup.
yeah.
That
But,
was yeah. I think I got to start over now because I was up. I was up 2-0, and now okay.
Yeah.
Houston going to go into Baltimore and get beat by the Ravens. Anybody got anything to say about that? I'm not sold on the Ravens defense. I watched NFL Network. There are a couple people on there that picked the Ravens to win the division. I don't get it. The Ravens, their offense, I guess, is okay. You got to count them in with Lamar Jackson. I think the coaching staff solid. The game calling's okay, but players execute. And I just think the Ravens are the bubble team in the AFC North. I think Pittsburgh's solid. I think the Bengals should be the penciled in as a division title if they can keep everybody healthy. I think depth's their problem going forward on that. But I just don't see Houston with a new head coach and a new quarterback, a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, something that hasn't happened very often since the merger in 1970, going into Baltimore, beat the Ravens, guys. Come on.
It's to me, guys, it's going to be like football 101. Even and the Ravens have lost a lot of defensive guys. Now their offense is pretty much, I would say, stacked on paper, minus a stud running back.
Yeah.
But they've lost some key defensive guys. But I think they still will take Houston to class. They're just too young and green right now. And,
Yeah, I
and
think
going
so.
into Baltimore, a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a long season in Houston. I think they'll be fine long term if they stick to their plan. But I'm not sure that they're ready for prime time just yet. Kind of unfortunate in the way that they have to open up on the road, but I don't know. I guess they don't have to take as many bags.
Prime time went to Boulder. That's the team that's in.
Yeah. Well, they got Nebraska. They got Nebraska on Saturday, so we'll see if they're for real. But they don't have to beat Nebraska. They just got to show up against Nebraska. If they beat Nebraska, and they probably could. Nebraska's not Tom Osborne's Nebraska, but Nebraska's not necessarily a pushover. Although, don't tell Minnesota that, right? Because the Golden Gophers were just like, maybe we should just hang around for 56 minutes and then go whoop their ass.
There you go.
But if they beat Nebraska, man, I think somebody's going to break the internet. Houston had a good draft, but they ain't ready yet. True. Chicago Bears has a really good draft. Nobody talking about them.
No.
Enough underrated. We'll get to the Bears. Cincinnati going to go into Cleveland and place a kind of a feisty Browns team. This is a Bengals team that lost last year, I think, in Cleveland by 19 points. I don't know what we're going to get with the Bengals out of week one. I'm not sure. I think they're downplaying Joe Burrow's injury. I think he's dinged up a little bit more than they want us to believe, but everything's going to run on Burrow and Chase. I think the question is the Bengals defense going to be able to suck it up in week one, stop the Browns running game? I think if they do that, they got a pretty good chance to get a division win on the road. What do you guys think?
I agree with you on that defense stopping the Browns running game, but here's the caveat right here. Nobody's talking about Cincinnati's running game. And
well, good point. Yeah, Mixon's no pushover.
Yeah, Mixon is
right?
no pushover, but nobody's talking about their running game. Now, I respect Cleveland's running game because they
Yeah,
got a stud there.
yeah,
But if they can slow that down,
yeah.
Deshaun's going to have a long day, I think.
He could, and I think the Browns are kind of like Houston. We don't really know what we've got yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if
That's why we
Watson,
watch him.
yeah, and I don't know if Watson's really going to be able to return to what we saw when he was down in Houston. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if that's him or the system, combination of both, but something seems off there. And
Yeah, a little bit.
I think he's as talented. I don't think he's dinged up, so I think he's as talented as he was in Houston. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I mean, he had D-Hop there, so maybe there was the term they like to use nowadays, lightning in a bottle kind of thing, which they don't have now in Cleveland, so to speak. But something just seems a little bit off. Bengals line is still suspect. So he says I line. So you're talking about interior defensive line, or what do you?
Yeah, interior line, I think.
The
Bengals.
O-line, yeah.
So say goodbye to Mitts. Bye, Mitts.
Uh
Let's see. Ravens serving barbecued crab. Ugh.
oh, barbecue
Yeah.
crab cakes. Ooh,
Well,
wow.
I don't guess it'd be all bad.
Nah.
Yeah. Giants Chronicles. Yes, we are indeed back and welcome. I mean the wild orchid. Oh, yes. I got you.
The
Coach
wild-
Kev. Watson should have taken notes from Kraft. I think he did. I think that's the problem. I think he ran the cliff notes on that. Coach B, you got something to say there?
Don't talk
Okay.
to me about my plans after the season when I'm no longer employed. I'm
I
going
got you.
to be down in Stewart. I'm the new manager at the Wild Orchid. But don't tell nobody.
Okay, so Deshaun Watson needs a happy ending. He would get that if he beat Cincinnati. I don't think he will. Jacksonville going to go into Indianapolis and play the Jonathan Taylorless Colts. I think it's quite the disaster if Jacksonville goes in there and loses Indianapolis. I don't see that happening. In fact, I'd take Jacksonville as my game of the week, if you will. Not that the Baltimore at home isn't probably a guaranteed win over Houston, but this is a division game. The obviously Houston Baltimore's conference game, but it's not a division game. This is a division game. Jacksonville can go one up pretty much on everybody in week one, right?
Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have that offense clicking, and I don't see the Colts, like you say, they're without their running back, but they've got some other issues also, and plus they're throwing Richardson out there in the fire, and I think he's going to get his real awakening to welcome to the NFL.
Yeah,
I've got the Jags though to make it short.
Yep. I think Jacksonville's going to run away with that division. Essentially, I think Jacksonville doesn't because they beat themselves or they have injuries. But I think it's their time. Maybe not like Super Bowl time, but I think it's their division title time at minimum. And we all know that winning your division gets you at least a home game, and who knows what happens after that. DTR played really well for the Browns. Could take Watson's job sooner than later. Woo! Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. That's really good analysis, Seven. Yeah. Kev says Jags win easy. I'm not. What do they serve in Indianapolis? What is the food there? Spaghetti? I don't know.
Probably some kind of meatloaf or
Meatloaf.
What's
something?
what's the name of that place that we were supposed to meet?
Oh, St. Elmo's.
There you go, St. Elmo's.
Yeah.
I still got to get over there one of these. Maybe if I go in January, because it's another January game in Indy, maybe I'll get over there.
Yeah,
maybe.
Okay, Tampa Bay going to go into Minnesota, get beat by the Vikings. I really don't see the Baker Mayfield Bucks going into Minnesota. I'm not on Minnesota's bandwagon by any means, but I just think that this is the Houston Baltimore game in the NFC. I just think Tampa Bay is just not going to
get it right. The fake Pirates.
What did I say? Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Horse meatloaf. That's what it is, V.
Is it? Good,
yeah,
hey.
Horse meatloaf. Yes, that's really good.
Right on, right on. Hey,
Bob Evans potatoes. If you don't know Bob Evans, you may have had his sausage out of the freezer section, but Bob Evans is a restaurant chain that's popular back in there. Interesting.
Great guess, man. Great
Horse
guess.
meatloaf. I'm going to remember that one. That was good.
That's
Baker
a good
selling hurricane insurance again.
Yeah,
he must have been salesman of the year last year, maybe this year. Okay, the faux Pirates going to go in and get beat by the what does Kev call them? The purple something. I forget what his nickname is there. He'll remind
Well,
me.
they used to be.
Tennessee. One of the more interesting games, guys, coming up this week is the Titans going to go into Tennessee. The Titans are going to go into New Orleans to take on the Saints. This is a Saints team that should be a lock for this game, playing at home.
Yeah.
I know they got a new offense. They got Derek Carr, blah, blah. We've hashed over that part of it. But if Derrick Henry shows up, I don't think Ryan Tannehill still has the targets. They have not been the same since they traded, what was it, A.J. Brown to Philadelphia?
Yeah, that's right.
They have not been the same. I'm still not sold on Tannehill. I think he's the Kirk Cousins of the AFC. I think it's a tall order for the Titans to go down there and beat the Saints. If the Titans decide to show up at the running game, I'm not sure the Saints got enough guys in the box to stop that, although they could. And the thing is, they can put the guys in the box to stop Henry because I don't think they have to worry that much about Tannehill throwing 4 touchdowns over the top.
You nail it. You nail it. I'm saying even if Henry gets off,
yeah,
he can't score enough points.
That's right. So they either got to have the lead early so they can wear the Saints down in the fourth quarter, or they're going to be running from behind, which essentially makes Henry not that effective.
Right.
And so I just don't think Tannehill's got enough arm and targets to get it over the top enough to beat the Saints down in New Orleans. What do you guys?
Absolutely.
I got
the Saints. And Carr has a bigger chip on his shoulder now than he ever has. So he's going to
want to prove something, even if it's week one against somebody
that nobody cares about. He's going to be out there gunslinging. Trust me.
Yep. Well, here's the thing, though. It could be a tie, but let's assume somebody wins between Carolina and Atlanta because it's not a tie. So we took the Falcons at home. Tampa Bay goes into the faux Pirates. Goes into Tampa Bay. Goes into you got me all messed up. The faux Pirates go into Minnesota, get beat by the Vikings. Okay, and so the Nordics take that one. But then if the Saints win, then it's a two-way tie at the top, and I think we're just going to see that play out for pretty much the rest of the season in the NFC South. I don't even know the Titans wide receivers. Yeah, I don't either, Jack.
Well, D-Hop is one, and that's all you really need to know about.
Well, it wasn't a replacement for Brown. The Eagles absolutely just stole that pick. Saints car breaks down 20 yards from home. Who's their backup?
Oh man!
Who's the Saints backup?
Eat
a dub. You got it.
Jameis Winston. Yeah, eat a dub. And Hainer.
He's suspended.
Are you kidding me?
He's suspended 6 games for PEDs. Yes.
Wow, did not know that.
Just went down today. 6 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we thought somebody else was smoking the weed. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think the whole season for the Saints. Okay, thanks, Kev. The whole season for the Saints rides on Carr up or down, broken or not broken, whatever. It'll be interesting to watch the AFC South. The thing about it is somebody's got to win the division. They might be 6 and. Gosh, I can't do the math now because the 17 games. They might be
6 and 11.
6 and 11, but yeah. Okay. San Francisco going to go into Pittsburgh, take on the Steelers. I'm really looking forward to watching this game. This is a 49ers team that has the personnel, even minus Bosa, to beat Pittsburgh if the game were in San Francisco. I don't know, even with Brock Purdy and Kittle and McCaffrey, if they're going to be able to go in there and beat the Steelers at home on opening day. This is a West Coast team, got to fly east, play at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't like what's going on there. I think they're probably the football pick, if you will, on paper, but the Steelers are pretty solid. And if you're going to play the Steelers, you don't want to play them in the first 4 weeks when they're healthy, because that's when they can pound you. So you guys like the Steelers at home? You think Kenny Pickett's going to get it done? What do you think?
Seeing that Nick Bosa just signed, that's going to be a lift in the morale on the defensive side.
Okay,
and I think they've got just enough to squeak out a victory there over the young QB.
Couple things. Hold that thought. Ray says Saints fans want Winston over Carr.
I've heard that.
What?
Yes, I've heard that. several times.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, you can't blame them. You can't blame them
I'm just saying
because
that's
Carr's a total unknown there,
yeah,
right? And in their eyes, probably the reject from the Raiders. Winston is a known commodity there, even when he was with Tampa Bay. I mean, it's
yeah.
still the South, right? So I'm not surprised about that. I think I want to see what Carr's going to do, but that would be interesting if we get into weeks 5, 6, and 7 and Carr gets benched. I think the Falcons win that division. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But
They'll
the
be
Falcons are going to have to
well,
get it going, and they're going to have to get it going early, and it starts on Sunday at home against the Panthers.
Yeah.
Cap?
unfortunately, I think that the Nolans still takes that division by default. You got, like I said, you got the fake Pirates with Baker Mayfield, and then when he fizzles out, Trask. And thanks for playing there, Johnny.
No, I get
Then
it.
you got the rookie in Carolina, who's from the
Bryce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio State bust the quarterbacks university.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Forget,
No, I get it.
forget Carolina.
I
Now Atlanta, it's going to be between Atlanta and Nolans, but Atlanta doesn't. I said Ritter's their quarterback, and I don't
Right.
think they really have enough there yet. Whereas the Saints actually have two quarterbacks that are
Yeah.
decent,
Decent.
and they got Kamara, and
They got
they got a
defense.
defense.
They got defense.
So they win by default.
I would tend to say that that's true unless they start having some injuries, open up a little crack in the door for Atlanta. But there's some good comments here. We'll get back to Pittsburgh here, V, because I had your comment about Bosa. 49ers are going to need 5 quarterbacks with all their protection problems. Probably so. Cool Kev says Pittsburgh wins. Probably true. I'm not sure what they'd be serving the 49ers. What do they eat in Pittsburgh? Steel burgers or something?
Hoagies.
Dirty birds are not good. That's
They eat,
true.
they eat pierogies.
Pierogies, that's it.
They eat and garage keys. You know what garage keys are, right? That's what you use to open up your garage.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was what do they call that? Pass was uncatchable. Carr definitely has a chip on his shoulder. Yes, it's a Dorito, but okay. So absolutely, Jack. I want to. Okay, so let's go back. So V, you said that the 49ers signed Bosa. I only heard that he actually had a contract on the table. Has it actually been signed?
I saw today that he had signed.
Okay, so for all practical purposes, we're expecting him to play on Sunday.
Now, according to Ian Rappaport.
Okay, well, that's probably good enough.
Yeah.
Better than Hunter Biden. So let's see, Heinz shot relish. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Kev. See, Kev always brings me all the food comments because
That's good stuff. See,
trying to get by that. Yeah. Okay. So let's do the roundtable real quick. Pittsburgh, San Francisco. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
I got Niners. Like I say, squeaking out one.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh at home in an upset.
Yeah, it would be kind of an upset. Can you imagine the interconference game is an upset for the? But again, remember 49ers going all the way. I know they've had plenty of rest now because nobody's played any games, so it's not really that big a deal in week 1. But they got to go all the way. It's not the East Coast, but it's Western Pennsylvania. If you're from Ohio, it's Eastern Ohio. But they're going to go to Western Pennsylvania and play
Eastern
at 5 in the
Ohio.
morning.
Yeah.
Does Chandler get traded or cut before game 1? I hope either. Quite frankly,
like I said, I was talking about that on the show before. I'm pretty sure the way that the Raiders have handled it, they're being very, very low key. They're not talking about it.
Yeah, they can't afford to if they want to trade him.
Personal problem. I really think that it's a medical issue because they don't want to step on the HIPAA rules.
That's a good one, Cap. Good one.
Yeah.
You're right, HIPAA. They can't say nothing.
That's why they can't say anything. That's why he wasn't at practice all these times in the preseason.
Yeah.
And he had an episode. He had an episode like this before when he was with the Patriots. Before he got with the Patriots.
Wow.
He had an episode with the Patriots where he literally lost his mind, and he was at a police station and he was out of it from some bad spice. It wasn't even the good juju. It was
yeah. Wow.
and then he wormed his way out of the contract And I was talking to Gabe Giants Chronicles about, and this is your guy. I said, dude, you know, you don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. We all don't know what's going on. So STFU.
Okay, so I think it was Kev said 170 million over 5 years. Is that Bosa's contract?
It was pretty high, whatever. I didn't get the numbers.
Holy snot!
Hey,
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm just
So
saying,
so
man.
Giants Chronicles. I got to get this one in. The travel thing is so overrated, and I agree, sort of. I agree, sort of. Steelers are so overhyped, and I would agree, sort of. 49ers have too much star power to lose to a young team like the 49ers. I agree with that. But based on the sort ofs above that, that's and then turnovers, that's how you lose games like that when you go on the road. So I'm not saying he's not right that it's overrated and Steelers overhyped, but those still are somewhat of a factor. And if those are factors, and I think to a certain point they are, and Amy Trask will back us up on that those are somewhat factors. If you add to that they're not ready to play, they're sluggish out of the gate, they ate too much pasta before they took off, or whatever, Steelers could get a win at home. I don't disagree that the Steelers are overhyped, um, but they're still a pretty good football team. And if this game were in San Francisco, I don't know
Now,
how I'd swing
Gabe
that.
Gabe is biased because he's in Pennsylvania and he's a
It's okay,
Giants fan.
but
He's a Giants
that's
fan
fine.
and a Nittany Lions fan, so he gets his skew of he's
But
very anti Pittsburgh
But you know
because
what?
of which
That's okay
location.
because we need that on this show.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And so I'm not like totally. I'm not disagreeing with him because I want those comments on the show.
Oh,
I want to take those and put it into a broad football perspective because I think what he would also appreciate is our perspective. But I
Yeah.
do agree with him that to a point the travel thing is overrated. Um, but Amy Trask has come out and said that it is and it isn't. Okay, because I think she's her comment, and when I want to agree with your Giants buddy that it 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 can be overrated, but a lot of it has to do with how the teams handle it when they
Right.
leave, all that kind of stuff. So I think it is and it isn't. I would agree more with the comment that the Steelers are probably overhyped, but this is still a really solid football team. And I think the 49ers on the road, if they're sluggish out of the gate, if they come out hot, out of the gate, ready to play, smacking people around, okay. But it could be a loss for them. And I think if the 49ers are going to get a loss on the road, an interconference game is that's
Just
where you want it. You want it in week one, and you want to get out of there without anybody hurt. If they do those three things and still have a loss, they still have a lot of football to be played.
right.
Let's see. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. I just have to gotten much into this. Come see the people. Okay,
They-
got it. Well said. Madden travel by bus and won all the time. Yeah, yeah.
Good one.
Well,
Good one.
there's
I
also
love
that.
it. I love
There's
it.
also that. But thank you for those comments because
Yeah, that's good
that
stuff, man.
perspective is stuff that we need.
Yeah,
We just want to put it in perspective because I think one thing we can say is not everything is 100% one way or the other.
right. Absolutely.
That said, Purdy is
I
overrated for sure. I don't disagree with that yet. I think we need to see more before I'm going to be on that bandwagon. I agree with you that they may have moved too quickly on Garoppolo and Trey Lance.
and Trey Lance.
Not
Yeah.
not that those were the quote answers when you've had Montana and Young and other quarterbacks in your history, but they did make those moves based on Brock Purdy's current performance. So I think there's still need to see a little bit more before we want to. Purdy wants, but that's the other point. Purdy won some big games last year, though, and that's absolutely
Right.
correct.
Yeah, and
That
so did Matt Flynn.
who
Good one, Cal. Ooh wee.
boy,
Matt
you're
Flynn.
on it.
Matt Flynn.
John Madden, 759. Purdy or the 49ers?
Look at that percentage, huh?
You can say the 49ers are Purdy. All right, okay, we are 651. Let's keep going. Arizona going to go into Washington, get beat by the Commanders. A lot of times, folks, in this show, we've put teams on the clock. Last year, we put the Jets on the clock, and everybody thought we were crazy. And guess who didn't make the playoffs? Well, we're not putting the Jets on the clock this year, at least not in week one. I think we should put a team on the clock in week one, and I'll give you a choice. I think we should put. Well, I think there's probably three options: Houston, Indianapolis, Arizona. And my vote's Arizona. I think they're just in so much disarray.
No,
Yeah.
they're tanking already.
I gotta
Yeah,
go. I gotta go
yeah,
Cardinals too, man.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Lance is holding Jamarcus's beard down. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. So we're all in consensus. We're putting Arizona Cardinals on the clock
Yeah.
in week one.
I
Haven't even played any games yet.
yeah.
I think Washington is the dark horse in the NFC East. I don't think they're going to necessarily challenge for a division title. But they could make the playoffs. Maybe we'll see. They got to score more points, though, guys. Last year we tracked the Commodores, and their problem was they were just not scoring enough points. They may change that. Eric Bieniemy may be enough to change that.
I miss my machine gun drop. Oh shoot.
Yep, Commodores. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was
That's okay.
waiting. I was waiting, but
Okay. One of the game.
Remind me next week. I'll put machine gun on, but I got to
Copy
make
that.
sure you guys can actually hear it. Because
Copy that.
oh yeah, well, I know what you're rocking to.
One of the other games I'm interested in is the Packers. The Aaron Rodgers-less Packers going to go into Chicago and take on the Bears. This is a game that if the Packers are going to win, and they could win, they better stay focused. They better forget everything else around them except knocking the snot out of the Bears. If they go in there with any other distractions on their mind or whatever, I think they run into a buzzsaw. Not that the Bears are that good, but I think the Bears are tired of all the Aaron Rodgers history, and I think they're going to make Jordan Love pay a huge price for that on Sunday.
There you go. To piggyback off that one.
Yep.
Like you say, the Bears they haven't been really talked about that much, but I've seen their offense get a little bit better this preseason. Jordan Love is going to be put to the test because now that number 12 is gone, the Bears are going to flex. They're going to flex on.
Some good comments. When was the last team to go winless? 2023 Cardinals.
It was Detroit, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the comment
winless,
was the 2023 Arizona Cardinals. So he's doing the Karnak thing. Like I got one for you. You remember when Johnny Carson used to do that, and he'd have the envelope, right, and then he'd open the envelope. Here's one for you.
I got one ready when you're done.
Sis boom ba.
That's mine. I was just gonna do that.
What's the answer?
Name the sound an exploding sheep makes.
No, what happened to the LA Rams season? Never mind.
Wow. Ooh-wee. Hey, he's on a roll.
No, it's what's the sound an exploding sheep makes.
How is that any different than the Rams regular season? I don't know. It's about the same to me, Cap, but
kind of a bigger sheep. That's all. A bigger sheep.
It's a bigger sheep.
A bigger sheep. Yeah.
and that's the only Karnak I really remember is Sis Boom Ba. And that's what I had ready.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. Guys, I'm going to close the chat for just a minute. Keep the comments coming, but we got to do two things. We're going to do a quick take on the Bears Packers. Then we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back because we got to finish the schedule. We got the Raiders going to Denver and then the rest of the schedule. So we're going to take a 60-second commercial break because I got a new promo I want you to see from Fitline. And then, but before we go, here's the trivia question. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 8 kickers. If you look at the longest field goals in NFL history, okay, and they go from 63 to 66 yards. Okay, so we have 8 kickers. Justin Tucker's on the top with the longest at 66, and then we have 64, and then a bunch of 63s. The trivia question for tonight is, how many kickers in the NFL? And they don't have to be active anymore. Just how many in front of stats book? How many kickers in the NFL are tied for the longest field goal at 63 yards? Okay, how many kickers are tied for the longest field goal? It's not the longest field goal in history because Matt Prater is at 64, Justin Tucker is at 66, but there's a whole bunch of people at 63. How many are there at 63? We'll be back in a minute.
What's up, fam? It's your boy Violator, just coming to you again to give you a personal testimony on these fantastic Fitline products that I've been using for a couple of years. And you've seen me on my quest to bring that body weight down, get back in shape like I used to be. And this is my secret weapon. These two products right here, Power Cocktail and Restaurant, my daytime and nighttime formula. At Fitline, we call them our optimal set. And baby, let me tell you, one in the morning, one before bed at night, and you let them do their thing. Trust me, these are some fantastic products if you're serious about getting your body where it needs to be, just improving your health overall.
All right. Let's bring the chat back, see if we got any answers. Woo! GA Patriot in at 6.
I see an 8.
Raiders 07 at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Paired is at
Paired
6. Okay, so
Yeah.
I see a couple of.
Yeah, GA Patriot was first with 6, though.
Who was?
GA Patriot.
Yeah. Let's see.
First one I saw.
Let's see who's actually.
And Gabe, you can't stop doing that. 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. No.
Yeah,
You'll get it right eventually, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a winners. Let's call it a tie because we have it at 1857 and 1857.31. So we're gonna award 2 prizes. GA Patriot was in at 6, and
Paired.
Who's paired at 6?
Paired means that it's on my broadcast and your broadcast.
Oh, got you.
I got you. Who is that though?
Paired, it is what it is. What was that? Well, yeah, Georgia Patriot, and it is what it is the other.
I'm sorry. It is what. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought that was the actual comment.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do we have? Okay, so listen up very carefully. It is what it is. Whoever you are, and who was the other one, Jack?
Georgia Patriot.
Oh yeah, GA Patriot.
Yeah.
Email us your shipping information at NFLNationLive@gmail.com. Okay. Name, address. We don't keep the information. We just need it for shipping purposes. Name, address, and zip code, city, state, zip code at NFLNationLive@gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat. NFL Nation Live. As soon as I learn how to type.
Okay, I got a trivia question.
Hold on.
How many feet did those kickers have?
2.
No. If you use you say six kickers.
I see what you're saying.
How many feet did they have?
That's some good math right there. That's a good.
6 times 2 is 18.
Wrong. And 6 times 2 is 12, by the way.
Oh yeah. See, that's why I don't do my own taxes. which is exactly why in my rookie season I went out and told the umpire that the 15-yard penalty from the 45 was going to be first down at the 60.
It's the answer is still wrong though.
No, I don't doubt that. Okay, so you guys. Okay, first let me go back Cap. So you guys that won, send us your name, address, city, state, zip code, because I gotta mail it to you. NFLNationLive@gmail.com and put your handle on there so I know who you are as opposed to this name. Then you need to tell me what coffee mug you want. Okay, so listen up. We've got Violator coffee mug.
Birdie.
We've got NFL Nation Live coffee mug, which is just the same logo on both sides.
Yep.
We've got the brand spanking new. Well, actually, these are both Captain Jack coffee mug.
That's neat.
Or you can have a yours truly Ref Guru coffee mug, but I don't blame you for not wanting that one. But so you have your choice of one of 4. Okay, you can order one. Okay, because these are expensive, so it comes out of my pocket. Okay, so Ref Guru. Tell me which one you want. You can Ref Guru. You can have, and you can collect all four if you win the trivia. NFL Nation Live, which is just our logo on both sides. Okay. Captain Jack. Oops, sorry. Violator, Captain Jack. Tell me which one you want. Now, keep in mind, these are custom made.
Yep.
They take a while for the manufacturer to make them,
Mhm.
but everyone that got one, everyone that won one last year got their stuff. So you will get it, but be patient because it takes a while. These are custom made. They're handmade. We're actually going to open up a store where you can buy these at cost. We're not going to make any profit off of them, but I got to pay my vendor, so they're expensive. But I'm working with her to open up a store. But these are steel.
Yep.
Okay, these are not ceramic cheapo piece of crap coffee mugs. These are solid mother. But you don't put them in the microwave. They'll come with a little card tag in there that
Says, "Hey schmuck, don't
Yeah,
put this
don't
in
put it
the microwave." And it should say, "Hey schmuck."
But you'll love these. At least I hope you will. So name, address, city, state, and which mug you want, and we'll get it out to you.
Yes, sir.
Go with
And
that.
I'm still waiting on
And
the
thanks for
answer.
playing.
I'm still waiting on the answer. How many feet?
Oh, how many?
How
feet?
many feet did those 6 kickers have?
We talking about distance or
No.
actual
No.
ankles to
How many
Shin
body part feet did those 6
6.
kickers have?
6.
No, 6 kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
12 feet.
No.
Does each kicker have 2 feet?
Mm.
Do they?
Son.
Do they?
Oh, 11 and a half.
There you go. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
It
That's
took me a
Dempsey.
minute.
Yeah.
It took
Good
me a
one.
minute.
Good one, Cap. Good one.
Yeah,
That's the right answer because Tom Dempsey,
Yeah,
who had the
definitely.
record,
had half a foot.
had a half a foot,
He did.
and the front of his foot was actually it was lead.
It-
And that's why for a lot of people
Yeah.
they said that he had an unnatural advantage in
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
in his
Well,
kick
yes.
because he literally had a lead foot.
We have a special shoe. All,
Yeah, he had a
think
he had
of,
a
think, of
special
it,
shoe.
think of it this way. If he'd had the other half of that foot, it would have been from 63 and a half yards.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
and he was a straight ahead kicker.
Straight ahead kicker. Straight
Yeah.
ahead
Straight ahead
kicker.
kicker. And he only had a half of an arm as well.
Sure did. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just look it up. Let's see. Wait, I missed some of this. It's okay. They look dope. This is the only ref I haven't yelled at. Well, that's good to know. I had it in the chat. Had what? Ray says he had it in the chat. Had what?
How many feet they had?
Oh, maybe it did. Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
actually, yeah.
I saw 11 and a half somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray
He did
Love.
right there. Yep.
Yeah,
He
Ray Love.
did, Ray.
Yeah. Well, if you want that to count as a trivia question, Cap, that's on you. But you got to send him something.
Oh shit! I ain't got nothing to say. You know what?
Don't hurt him, Ray. Don't hurt him.
Okay, Ray Love, and you might not think nothing of it, but this is a very rare Florida
Ooh.
Bay Area Raider boosters large patch. It is this
Wow.
big.
Damn.
It is this big. It is this big.
I have to
A
get whole
very
new jacket.
rare. You send me your email address, and I'll send one of these. It's either this one or the other one I have, but
Wow.
these are rare. This is from the booster club that I used to be the president of.
Way back.
That's
way
pretty
back.
cool.
Way
That's
back.
pretty cool.
And
Dang.
these normally were like $25 a pop,
Wow.
and I have a few of them left. So if
Okay.
for that
That's some history
There you
right
go.
there, Ray.
history, okay.
History.
So
Right.
one of these, and
Yeah.
you'll get a Florida Bay Area Raider boosters patch. And then you'll say like, if people say, "What the hell is that?" I said, "That's Captain Jack's old booster club from Florida."
Nice.
And
All
only
right. Well,
because
thank you, Jack.
it's right here.
Thank
Yeah,
you for doing that.
There you go. What was it? Ray Love, right? You got to
Yeah,
send
Ray
it.
Love. Yeah.
Got to send it to me. Captain Jack Rackham at gmail.com.
Yep.
All
Or you can send it to NFLNationLive@gmail.com and I'll forward it to Jack.
yeah,
Whatever you want to do. Just let me know
Do
who you are because I need to know what's supposed to go out.
yeah.
Who's
That's
getting
Ray-
what? There you
That's
go.
What's
Ray.
the name
That's
of your-
Ray Love. Ray Love. Yeah.
Send me Richie's whiskey. Okay. All right. Let's finish the schedule up, guys. Las Vegas going to go into Denver, take on the Broncos. I think this is a game the Raiders can get on the road. I know there's a lot to like about Denver right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. I've been watching the Wild Wild West show when I can on MHRT Network. And if you're not watching the show sponsored by Mile High Roundtable or MHRT Network, you need to follow those shows and participate in those shows. But there's one in particular off that network, Wild Wild West. Captain Jack's on there.
Yeah.
And Lockdown Defense is on there. They talk about the AFC West primarily, but you're going to get a lot of good, hardcore football knowledge out of that. Richie Riche is excellent in his analysis, particularly with regards to Broncos, but in football in particular. I'm amazed at the detail that is into that show. And if you're serious about all the nitty gritty, particularly AFC West and the matchups, that's where you want to go. That said, there's a lot to like about Denver. Of course, Russell Wilson may turn his what's left over his career around with Sean Payton's new offense, but I still think Denver has enough issues, even with a new coaching staff, and maybe in spite of all of those things, that I think the Raiders are probably going to get away with the win on the road against Denver. How do you guys see this one coming together on Sunday? And do you like Las Vegas OTR, if you will, on the road at Mile High?
That's
or
who I've
whatever
got.
whatever they call the
Yeah.
horse place now.
Vegas Raiders at Mile High. That's what I've got.
Okay.
This is their chance to come out and make a statement. No more bland plays, blah, blah, blah. Let's go and start bumping heads like we used to.
So, Cap, you've been on Wild Wild West. You've heard a lot about what's been said in the AFC West in particular in those matchups, and we still have to talk about we talked about the Chiefs. We still have to talk about the Chargers a little bit. But with regards to what you've heard about Denver, specifically a Wild Wild West show, what do you have to tell us? Any insights with regards to how maybe they're looking at or feeling with regards to this game against the Raiders at home?
Well, actually, if you talk to any of the Bronco fans, like Biggie Bronco the Penis, as well as, well, actually, there's another Bronco fan in there, and I can't remember his name. He says that sorry, Cap, Broncos are going to win, yada, yada, yada. All of their fans, except for one, think that the Broncos are going to win, okay? And that one fan that thinks the Raiders are going to win is Richie Riche. Because Richie Riche, like me, thinks that despite all of the, he just said the Raiders are going to win. It's going to be a close game, and I really think it is going to be a close game.
It could be.
But
Very.
I think that it's not going to be one of those 51-3s like we had. Oh, I love that.
Buffalo?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No. Remember when we played Mile High? It was a couple years ago, and we had 28 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember because they had the diamonds in the end zone that game. It was the red diamond, blue diamonds, whatever. It was the diamond end zones when the Raiders came up there. We had 28 points in the first quarter. Okay, and that was wonderful. This ain't happening. The Broncos always play us tough.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they don't have the mesh with Peyton coming in as of yet. Remember,
I think you're right.
They don't have. They're missing like 2 or 3 wide receivers. And one of them's gimpy. They have like 4 healthy wide receivers, and one of those healthy wide receivers is Philip Dorsett, who they got from us when we cut him. Okay, so I think that you're going to get a big, strong dose of their running game. They got the Simon J. Perine. I thought it was LaMichael, but LaMichael's actually in Kansas City. You can get a big dose of Simon J. Perine out there, and they're going to try to run on us. And Javonte Williams was the guy that the Broncos running back that got hurt in the game against Vegas last year. That's where he got hurt. He's coming back from injury, but I don't think he's quite up to snuff yet. If the Raiders can stuff the run, I think that they don't have enough good wide receivers to really be a threat. Hamler's out, and the other guy is out, and Patrick's out, Hamler's out, and there's another guy that always seems to catch a lot of passes against the Raiders. He's healthy, and he's going to get the bulk of their receptions. I can't remember which guy that is. But I think that the Raiders, and this is not a homer saying this,
Yeah.
but I think that the
Interesting.
Raiders will have just enough for them. Now, I'll tell you
Okay.
what. Remember, we got them at the end of the year
Yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
and it might be a very different game by then too.
Yeah. Who's got the better special teams in your mind? Raiders?
Oh, wow,
With
that's a good one.
Yeah, they got rid of their the Broncos got rid of their
You know,
kicker.
the
I
kicker,
don't.
yeah, they did.
Yeah, and I don't remember who they signed. I have to say that we got a better special teams play. In fact, our snapper is the former Broncos snapper, Bobin Moyer,
True.
okay.
and so I think that we would have the better 3 unit. Our kicker is better. Our punter has got to be
Yeah.
better. It's a matter of, and I think that we re-signed Cole.
Yeah.
And he'll be
Yeah,
like
he's there.
he'll be on one of the gunners. I think that Trey Tucker will be out as a punt returner. I
Okay.
think that we or Carter, one or the other. I think that we have some speed
Both are fast.
back there, and
Yeah.
that they can do it. So I think
Yeah.
that the Raiders will get it on special teams as well.
Yeah.
But
Some
remember, it's at Mile High, so the kicks go a lot
Yeah.
longer.
Good comments there. Pat says, "Is Garoppolo played recently against Denver?" I don't think so. Which he thinks we may have the heads up on that. Raiders. Patriot says Raiders by a touchdown.
Yeah.
Red zone is the difference. It usually is, but in this case, in this particular type of game, even more so. And then no Judy either. Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's the other one.
Yeah,
Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kev says Carter better than Tucker. Um,
Well, Carter's more experienced, and I think that will be good for the good for Carter. I know one of them is the punt returner, and the other one is the kick returner. I think Tucker is the punt returner. I think Carter is the
Okay.
kick returner.
Jack says Denver's a minus 3.5 favorites over.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Raiders and the points on that one. Because if they win, they're going to beat them by more than 3.5 points.
Yeah.
I think. Interesting. All right. We'll take the Raiders on the road then, which is good. We need a road
We
win
need it.
in any case. Now, Miami going to go into LA and take on the Chargers. This is a conference game. It's not a division game, but it's a conference game. It could matter. Oh, by the way, the Raiders, Bill Vinovich is the referee for our game on Sunday.
He's a dick.
Huh?
He's a dick.
Vinovich, I'll tell you what, though, if we're going to get an early game on the road, Vinovich, I'm fine with that. His
Play
crew,
nice.
his crew with Alex Bordale, Keller, Mark Perlman, Joe Bluebaugh, Buchanan, and Russell, pretty solid crew. I think, and I could be, I've been wrong before, but I try to call it as it is on the show. I think on Thursday, because remember, starting next week, y'all, we're on Thursdays at 3/7, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Starting next week, we move to Thursdays. Okay, 3/6. Thursdays, 3/6. In part because of my schedule, but we wanted to be your lead-in for the Thursday games on actual game day, and we also wanted to get out of the way of Mile High Roundtable's Wild Wild West show. I felt like we were stepping a little bit on their show, and we want to support each other and get out of the way. But if I'm going to get an away game early on in Denver, I think we'll get a pretty fair game out of this crew. Perlman, the line judge bothers me a little bit, but I don't think that next Thursday, remember, we moved to Thursdays next week. I don't think next Thursday on our show we're going to be talking about the officiating against the Raiders. We might be talking about it for some other reason, but I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get hosed. I think Bill's going to call a pretty fair game in that crew. My preference would have been for Alan Eck to make his debut in Denver, but he's in Atlanta. No, where is he? He's in Washington.
I saw him earlier.
Yeah,
he's
so-
in.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's
we got-
in DC. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a rookie white hat in week 1. Alan Eck is a rookie white hat. Craig Rolstad's crew would have been okay, but I think with the shuffling that they've done on the crews this year, Vinovich is the best we could have asked for at this time. I also would have been okay with Hockley, but I would have rather had Hockley at home. So if we're going to be on the road, then maybe Vinovich in Kansas City later in the season would have been better, but at the end of the day, it's a division game. So if we get out of there with the win and we don't get hosed by anybody,
I thought
we'll be good.
Hussey retired.
Not John Hussey, no.
Yeah.
Boger retired.
Well, I know Boger retired, which means I get a chance to see Hussey this year. Hopefully, it'll be a home game. I'll say, remember me.
You know what? I'm going to go on the record and say right now, you're not going to see him in Las Vegas this year. But I'm just saying.
What?
Chargers beat the Fins in LA. Let's get to that because we've
saw
got.
that. Yeah.
Let's get that. So Chargers beat the Fins unless the Dolphins can run the ball. Ref Guru, do you see? Oh wait, hold on. Do you see more calls going our way with the Super Bowl in Las Vegas this season? No. If anything, they would go away from us because they don't want the Raiders
That's in there, right?
But
Absolutely.
if we make the playoffs, we go on the road. We have the conference championship game somewhere else. That's a different story. Let's talk about that in January. But I don't see the calls going more our way with the Super Bowl in Las Vegas this season. But let's see. I will say this because that's a good point by 07. If that's I'm going to say no. But there could be a trend, and I'll tell you how that trend's going to go. If I start seeing a pattern for the refs that we get for our home games, I'll come back to that comment because there is a math formula that could send Blakeman to Las Vegas, Sheffers, Land Clark, and either Torbert or Rolstadt. If we get Blake, Eck, Hockley, Hussey, Martin, Novak, or Torbert, we're done.
Wow.
I'm just telling you. And by the way, while we're talking officiating, because this may be the only chance I get to do this, what crew is Mahalik on this year?
Mahalik, let's see.
Oh, he's on Trey Blake's crew. Oh, God. We absolutely have to stay away from Trey Blake's crew. That's Satan's crew right there. Just telling you. Miami into LA to take on the Chargers. You like the Chargers on the road. This is a conference game, which only matters in the tiebreaker later. If these teams make a playoff run, I think the Dolphins have a good chance here. We're back to where our Giants buddy said, the travel doesn't really matter. I think it's overhyped, maybe, but that's a long trip from Miami to LA. It's 3 time zones, but they're gonna, but it benefits East Coast teams, if you will, because they still end up playing later in the afternoon.
Right, in the afternoon.
As opposed to the 49ers that are going east.
East to west is really no problem.
Yeah, as much.
Going west to east.
Yeah. So I agree that it's probably not, the travel's probably not a huge deal. They're going to go into LA, play the Chargers because the Rams are in Seattle, so that SoFi is available. But opening day, man, nobody's really played any ball, you guys, and turnovers are a factor. The clock is a factor. Timeouts are a factor. What's going to happen here? I don't necessarily like the Chargers at home because I think the Dolphins are the better team.
Yeah.
But I don't have a feel for the Dolphins offense against that Chargers defense from a matchups standpoint. I think if it's a chess game, then I'm going with Miami, but they'll have to execute to get it done. So I like the Dolphins in a close one at home, in LA against the Chargers. What do you guys think?
I got the Fins on a close one also, ref, and this is my reason why, because the Chargers defense is still kind of getting their legs up under them. They've lost some players too in the offseason that they really, to me, haven't replaced. Miami has too much speed on offense now. If they got an inkling of a running game, look out.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack, for the comment. I do try to call it straight on this show.
Oh, that's it.
But see, Chargers don't have a home field. That's true.
I forgot about that. But,
yeah, that's true. So, Cap, what do you think?
It's going to be tight. If you listen to Coach, the Chargers are going 18, 19, whatever, no. But what Coach, in all fairness, he said that the Chargers defense is actually healthy, which is rare.
Yeah.
because they have 50 who is playing well, and Bosa's there, and they're both healthy, so you caught them at the right time that they're healthy.
That's right.
They said that their running game, because they kept 4 running backs. And
Yeah.
thank God the coach kind of primes me for this. 4 running backs, and you got Eckler is going to be productive. You got the kid that was their pick last year, whose name is he was good in college. I can't remember his name, but they said that their running game is what's going to be
The bread and butter.
good for them, because the passing game is, they're going to know about the passing game. What he was saying, that he wasn't worried about the 2 cheetahs, and I said that specifically between Waddle and Hill.
Waddle, yeah.
I think, I'm sorry, man. I think that there's only one J.C. Jackson. Okay, there's only one J.C. Jackson. So whoever's on the other guy is not as good as what's going on. So I think that the Dolphins are going to be able to throw on them. It's a matter.
I totally agree, especially with Tyreek Hill over there.
It's a matter of, does the Dolphins have enough of a running game?
Right.
Because again, the Chargers do have a running game.
Yeah, and to Jack's point, the Chargers need to learn how to stop the running game.
Ooh.
I think they had trouble with that last year. I don't know what their stats were, but it starts to ring a bell.
Yeah, they suck. They I mean, even when was it Houston beat them last year? Because they
probably
just ran.
Yeah.
Warmed down.
Well, if Miami's paying attention to that tape as well as playing their game, I think Tua and company can pull out the win. We need that win, so we can root for the Dolphins and Lions this week for sure. We'll come back to Coach B in just a second, because I want to go really quick. I think LA is going to go into Seattle, get beat by the Rams, because again, I think the whole Rams season is,
LA's on the clock. LA's on the clock within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. They very well could be. I didn't put them on there this week because of Matt Stafford. Yeah. But if they go 0-2-ish, who do they play next week? While we're talking about that,
Cooper's hurt again.
Yeah, they're at home. They're at home next week against San Francisco. Yeah. So the only reason why they survived that is because the 49ers go to Pittsburgh, get all beat up, then have to go to LA to play the Rams. But let's see what happens before we get too far into that. But San Francisco goes 2-0. The Rams go 1-2. I agree with you. Maybe by at minimum week 3, we might be putting the Rams on the clock. I think the Cardinals was a safe bet, but we'll give the Rams a little bit of a break. They did win the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, I got Seattle at home.
Yep. Philadelphia going to go into New England and take on Coach B and the Patriots. Coach B, you're going to get your butt handed to you by the eventual Super Bowl team. But what do you got to say for yourselves against the old Eagles?
No, well, actually, again, that's you saying that, because I think we're going to hurt their quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Hurts. Oh, nice one, Coach B.
I think he's going to hurt you, but
well, no, we can't do that, because the problem is that because I am the smartest coach in all of football. That's why
the bar's not really high.
That's why I only carry one quarterback on my roster. Yeah. Only one quarterback on my roster, because I am the great and powerful hoodie. You were expecting Oz, but no, I have the great and powerful.
No,
Oz.
that would be dissing Oz.
Yeah, I am the great and powerful
to the hoodie.
Yeah.
That's it.
So and I was actually awake for this presentation.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're paying attention finally to our show.
Yeah,
maybe you'll learn something.
I probably will be awake a little bit more often, considering that you're going to a 6 o'clock Eastern time thing, and that's more, that's like right after I eat dinner.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a couple hours after I eat dinner. I have like the old timers eat dinner at 3 o'clock thing. So I'll actually be fully digesting my dinner by 6 o'clock, and then after your show I'll go to sleep.
Okay.
But
Right
yeah,
on, Hoodie.
I think that, again, your prognostication analysis doesn't mean shite to the hoodster.
Okay. Well, that's
The
okay.
all knowing, the all
That's
knowing,
okay.
the all knowing.
Right.
We're gonna hurts the Eagles. I
Yes,
think
sir.
is
Gotcha.
the way they would
Hurts
say
the
it.
Eagles. That's a bulletin board right there. Thank you,
Hurt.
Hoodie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, back in Philadelphia,
But
nothing to see here.
now I'm going to take my nap. So there you go.
Okay, good. Dallas going to go into New York, take on the Giants. The Giants may be a few weeks from being on the clock, but I think Dallas probably gets away with the win there. Again, division game. They're going to need to keep pace with the Eagles, and they're going to need to keep the Commodores at bay
Dad,
because I think,
I need my machine gun.
yeah, I
there.
know, right?
Mm.
Captain looking like a gangster with the hoodie. Yeah, well,
Straight up.
that's kind of
See?
what we were going for.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
You
Told
need to
you.
cut the sleeves off your shirt.
That's
And then
No,
finally,
this is my Hall of Fame shirt. I'm cutting the sleeves off of this. I
well,
mean,
you
maybe
can get a
maybe
Chiefs
I can-
shirt and cut the sleeves off that.
Well, I mean, I can.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Guns out, suns out, guns out, baby. There
Hey.
you go.
Machine gun,
I
huh?
need my glasses.
That's it.
Getting the glare
Oh
over
my
here. It's like,
God,
woo.
man. Hey, hold on,
Um,
hold on. Where's my flag, man?
Hey,
I-
thank God these are still decent because my big chest went down to my belly. It's called, what is it? Gravity. 'Cause
Gravity,
Yes.
this used to be up here, but
Yeah.
at least the arms still look good.
yeah.
At least the
Well,
arms still good.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get one of those German shirts. They're called keeps them from flopping.
Put that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You
I
get it
know
all
that-
right here, guy.
I know that chick. She's like she's German.
Oh.
Heidi Titzafloppen. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Ah.
Buffalo going to go to New York and take on the Aaron Rodgers Jets. This is a Jets team that, unlike we've ever seen before, I'll say the Jets have perhaps the best or at least top 3 defense in the NFL right now.
Give him that.
And
Give him that.
this is a close game. Look, the reason why the Jets didn't beat Buffalo last year was because they couldn't score any points. Aaron Rodgers is worth 13 points just putting the shoulder pads on in the locker room. I think it changes the way that this division is going to be played out. I think that the Jets are probably overhyped on offense. So they got to go out there. They got to settle down. They got to get some things done. But the defense may be enough to keep them in the game. If they do that, the Jets actually have a chance to get a division win against Buffalo at home. What do you guys think?
I got the Jets. I got Rodgers recording his first official 2023 win at Jet Life Stadium because of the defense.
Yeah.
The
I think the defense
will
is going to be – yeah.
I think Buffalo becomes one-dimensional as usual.
Yep.
And it's too early for, the quarterback to be out there being a hero.
Can you imagine if Buffalo – I'm not saying it would have happened, but could you imagine if Buffalo could have made a trade for Taylor at Indianapolis?
Oh, my.
How
Scary.
big – it could have been big for any team, right? Miami, we talked about this. It could have been Miami, Washington, L.A., Rams. It could have been a number of places where he could have gone and made a difference. But for a team that's close, like Buffalo, that just is like right there, that could have been enough to put him over the top. But it is what it is. Is it just me as Captain Jack Rackham Levy have a serious man crush on Bill Belichick?
That's Doc. For him, I say the Patriots fan because Doc has been a Patriots fan for longer than the Cheatriots have been alive.
Okay.
So just for you, Doc, it's Patriots. Everybody else, they're Cheatriots fans.
So
but no, I don't have a man crush on Hoodie. I have a man crush on Crafts and the Wild Orchid.
The Wild Orchid. There you go.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. So what I see? Oh, Jack says Jets are solid. I agree with you on that front. I want that offense to take off. We'll see. I think they're going to need a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised actually if the Jets end up going 2-2. They might go 3-1. Let's see where they are after week 4. I think after that they're going to start clicking. and they're probably going to be something. Robert says a wind chill salute. Is that in the show?
Yeah, Winchie's here. Yeah.
I
Oh
didn't see.
Ed. Yeah, Ed came
Oh
in. Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Well, Ed, I'm sorry if I missed
yeah.
you when you came
I
in.
saw him. Yeah,
Thanks for
good to see
joining
you,
us.
brother.
Appreciate that. And again, for those that are just tuning in, don't forget, starting next week, NFL Nation Live is moving
Thursday.
to Thursdays at 3/6. I know you've come to know and love us on Wednesdays, but we want to be your lead in for the Thursday games on game day, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. NFL Nation Live moving to Thursdays next week. So appreciate all that. Everything else still be the same. We'll still be the same crazy people you've come to know and love. We're just moving days. There isn't a lot for fans in that Thursday lineup leading in to Thursdays. Sundays is pretty well covered. What are you pointing at, V?
Oh, you was just no, never mind.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
They got it. They got
Oh,
it.
I got you. Yeah.
What
But
the wild and crazy?
yeah, right. No, I copy that.
Showing love, brother. Showing love.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah. And we understand that for the West Coast folks, it may be a little early, but you can always catch the show because we recorded it and uploaded onto YouTube, so it's always there for you to reach you. And one other business note for our folks out there, because I know we lean heavy Raiders. You want to hear the Raider stuff. We want to give that to you in the best perspective we can. But NFL Nation Live was designed to cover the entire league to show how important that we all are in this together. But if you want to know when we're mostly talking about the Raiders, we take the games in order that they're played. In other words, if you go to NFL.com/schedule and you go to week 2, you'll see the listing that NFL.com puts out for the games. They'll have the Thursday games, they'll have the Sunday 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. kickoff, and then the Sunday Monday night game. They list the games in order. That's the order that we talk about the games in generally. So if the Raiders, like this week, are playing an afternoon game at 1:25 on CBS in Denver, if you're listening to our show via the rebroadcast or the tape version, and we're still talking about Tennessee, New Orleans, we're still covering the 10 o'clock games. We haven't gotten to the Raiders yet. So you can fast forward a little bit to get to the meat of the show or the Raiders. So we'll generally try to talk about Raider stuff.
Don't ever fast forward, though, because you'll miss jokes. You'll miss
I understand that.
Jean-Paul Jacques, you'll miss the hoodie. I missed when I missed my cowboy hat stuff. And,
I'll get to that. But I'm just letting folks know, if you want to know what we're covering the games in the order which are listed at NFL.com/schedule. So it doesn't mean we won't talk about Raider stuff at other times, but we generally try to.
I got to get my cowboy hat.
Yeah, you'll have to get that. That's okay. But we'll get to it. But yeah, but Cap's right. If you fast forward, you risk missing the trivia question, which obviously you can't win if you're watching a tape delay show. But we will open up a store for those that are interested in the junk that we sell. We're going to have some keychains. You probably can't see that, but it's a helmet. It says NFL Nation Live, and our coffee mugs, whatever. Again, we're not making any money on these. We're just selling them because we know we have fans out there that like to have a commemorative piece. We're selling them at cost. So we're not making any money. We're still self-funded show, but we do understand, but we also understand that it's advertising, and you take it to work, and someone says, "Hey, where'd you get that?" Well, then maybe they want to listen to the show. All right, I'll close the chat now and thank you all for joining us. No bobblehead. You know what?
That's yet.
A good point. Not yet. But if I figure out someone who knows how to make one.
And stay tuned for bobblehead news. That's all I'm gonna say.
What?
That's all.
You mean you're gonna at some point you're gonna do some break-in bobblehead news on the show? Sweet. Your boy needs to hit Ref Guru up for a bobblehead.
Go to eBay, because I saw your bobblehead on eBay for I think it was like $600. I'm like,
dollars?
It's up to $9 right now.
So,
dollars?
Yeah.
Well, there's one for $6 because DJ was saying that there's one for $6, and I was like,
the highest is $9 right now.
Yeah, oh man, I said I want to, but I think the Filipino will just read me.
All I'm saying is you heard it here first. Do not give up on bobbleheads.
Wow.
News coming.
Wow.
I'd love a bobblehead, man. That'd be cool.
I would love a Ref Guru
Stay
bobblehead.
tuned. When it's time, you will know.
Wow. Okay. And for those that are interested, we're all, I say we're all, your NFL Nation Live crew will be at Fred Blitnikoff's Crab Fest in
Yes,
Las
sir.
Vegas in November. So if you have a reason to travel to Las Vegas and are planning on going to the Giants game that following Sunday, and you can get tickets to go to Blitnikoff's Crab Fest, I might
Good
bring a
stuff.
Sharpie and sign something. Not that you want my autograph, but you might want V or Cap's autograph. And we might have some stuff to give away while we're there. You never know. Ref Guru might decide to pack a bag of stuff and go over there. So if you hit us up, you might end up with something. We also have stuff that nobody knows about.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe if I can find a design and I'll get with V, maybe I can actually get some make some T-shirts because people have been bugging me. People have been bugging me for T-shirts in like forever, and it's like I don't want to. Oh, by the way, my website's down.
Well, I can hook you up with the gal that does our mugs. She does T-shirts.
Yeah,
You can just sell them through her store.
Yeah, well, no, I'm going to sell them through our website.
Oh, I got you. Copy that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, let me know.
Bobblehead V, please. Yeah, we all want the Violator bobblehead. We want to
Stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say tonight. Stay tuned.
We need to get us a
Coming soon.
Jack bobblehead.
Coming soon.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Quick roundtable before we get out of here. Thanks everybody for joining us for week 1. Remember again, NFL Nation Live moving to Thursdays,
Thursday night,
6 next week, Thursdays. Okay, let's go around the game. Cap, what are you looking for this week? Week 1, kickoff, opening day. Raiders, Broncos.
I want to see if this team is for real.
Yep.
I want to see if this team is for real. I think it is. I have high aspirations for it. Like I said, that I think that it's between 7 and 11 wins this year, which is an ascension. You got to keep improving. If the offense plays well and we have a healthy quarterback, notice I didn't say a name. If we have a healthy quarterback, because I firmly believe within a couple weeks, if not sooner, that AOC4 is going to be the backup and the emergency quarterback is going to be Hoyer.
I love that, AOC4. Ed says put me down for 3. I think he means bobbleheads.
I saw that. Got you.
Ed, we'll take care of it. Ed, you need to show up for Crab Fest, man, because we got so much crap that we need to give you. Bring a small suitcase with you when you come.
There you go.
A
good backpack. A good backpack.
There you go. Something you can get through security.
You'll see Ed with me in the Patriots game. I'm moving my seat. By the way, and don't bitch at me for the prices. I'm selling my normal tickets for $2,000. My normal tickets, which is by the Raiders Tunnel, which ain't a bad price. If you go through me, if you go through the I'm putting them up on the NFL site pretty soon, and that'll be more. But if you send me $2,000, I will send you my tickets, which is right next to the Raiders Tunnel corner end zone where Chandler Jones was coming at you for the win last year. But that's not a bad price for where they are, right next to the tunnel, right next to the black hole. $2,000, and we'll do that. And the reason why I'm doing for the Patriots game because Ed and I are going to be about on I think the 10-yard line front row with plus ones. And I'm moving for that game. So that's why you'll see Ed and me on that game.
Right on. Be good to see him again.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
$2,000, 2 tickets. Get with me. They're great place, great seats.
I'm going to the Giants game after the Crab Fest, but I'm sitting way up in the nosebleed section. So I'm taking a box of tissues up there. In case I get a runny nose.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna give you a clue, Ref. There's standing room areas that's lower because I've been in them. Find yourself right there. A whole lot better.
Somebody needs to hook a bad boy up with something. I'm just saying.
Well, I gotta pay for the 4 seats that I have at the 10-yard line. That's another reason. But $1,000 a seat is not bad for that area.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, because I think I paid $400 for the one's way up there where your hot dogs are $12 each.
That's a going rate. Right?
Yeah, and I'd rather sell to Raider fans than
There you
before.
go. That's hard.
Absolutely.
I'd
That's
rather
hard.
sell to a
Absolutely.
Raider fan that actually will be in my seat, because eventually they're going on. What is it?
Wow. Did you see what? Not cutting you off.
Yeah,
Mike Sierra said
yeah.
Chandler didn't travel to
Yeah,
Denver.
I knew that was coming.
Big
I said,
surprise, right?
yeah,
Well, I'm not
he's-
surprised actually.
He's going through some things, and I think that the event, he might eventually be put onto a point. Well, it depending on how
PUP.
bad
Yeah.
on the medical list, or the not. There was another listing as
Pup.
well. Yeah, but actually, there's a pup list, but there's also a
It's two
pup
pup. Yeah.
non-football injury.
Non-football.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
I think that. But yeah,
Sounds good.
fantastic seats. Get with me. It's a bargain. $2,000, two seats next to the Raiders tunnel, corner end zone. And I'll come over and visit you too from my seat, where Ed and I will come over and
Sell
see
your Raider tickets to a Raiders fan at a loss versus a Giants fan at a profit, right?
I'm going to sell my tickets. I'd rather sell them to a Raider fan, but
I understand.
I'm selling them eventually, because I got to pay for the other 4 tickets.
Copy
Gotcha.
that. No, I get it. It's all bidenomics.
That's the business. That's the business of it, man.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining us this week. We
Thank
will
you,
be back
guys.
next Thursday, and going forward on Thursdays. It's not just for 1 week; it's for going forward. We appreciate everybody that's been in the show. Appreciate the comments and all the good time. I hope everybody glad to be back with us. This is season 5. Going to be really interesting. Kickoff is tomorrow, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah! Game day, baby. Let's go.
Absolutely.